The Dragon Ball Super manga is in trouble. It is in big trouble. I just read chapter 19 of the Dragon Ball Super manga, and I'm not gonna lie, I think most of you know if you've been following my reviews, was a huge fan and a huge fanboy of Goku Black. That was my dude. I mean, I made the video talking about how he's one of my favorite villains in all of Dragon Ball. He's that damn awesome. Zamasu was the one that we were kind of a little bit like, I mean, of course, it's essentially the same person that took somebody else's body, but you've seen the difference with Goku Black and Zamasu. When he was in Goku Black's body, he was more chill. He just had this overall badass tone to him, and Zamasu was the one that we were kind of like, it's Zamasu or whatever. But I just read chapter 19 of the Dragon Ball Super manga, and honestly, it's not Toyotaro's fault. The dude that's doing the manga, whatever, handling it, is not his fault. It's because of time restraints that, for starters, I mean, Goku Black's character is all over the place, and I'm not feeling him in the manga. I gotta be honest with you. In the chapter, Vegeta beats the dog shit out of him. Mind you, they're at the point right now in the manga where, which is a little bit different, but essentially they went to the future and they're having their fight. Goku Black, yeah, he can only go Super Saiyan Gold at this particular point, and Vegeta pummels the shit out of him. I mean, it is embarrassing. He beats the dog shit out of him, and he admits, yeah, I still can't access the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan powers that Goku can do. He can't access the blue, which is why he still hasn't been able to go Super Saiyan Rose. Maybe in the next chapter he'll be able to do it or something, but like I made that video, basically the difference that they have created in the manga, he's going normal Super Saiyan. Maybe he can go the Rose, maybe it'll happen in the next chapter, something like that, but as of right now, he's not even able. He admits, yeah, I can't access that power right now, so he gets the tar beat out of him by Vegeta, which, fair enough. I mean, it happened in the anime. The way it was done in the anime was a lot better because he already had round one. He beat the dog shit out of Vegeta. Vegeta had to come back after training with vengeance and shit like that. In this one, their first fight, Vegeta's pummeling his ass. He's getting in his ass good. And then on top of that, one of the things that I felt was like, oh, it was basically mentioned how Goku Black or Zamasu became the only god left in this world. He's like, yeah, you were a coward. You had to kill all the Kais to get rid of the gods. You didn't face them head on. That was just cowardly. And Goku Black just takes it in stride like, yeah, you know, he essentially admits that he's a coward and that's how he got rid of the other ones. Like, that is not the Goku Black badassery that we had in the anime. I'm just not digging it. I personally think that what the manga's done with this particular step in this direction or whatever, it's not what we felt and how awesome Goku Black's character was in the anime. So in that regard, I'm already like, fuck, because majority of the time, the anime and the manga, you know, they have the differences, and the manga will probably do it better. Like, I've been praising the manga, and I've been saying people are sleeping on the manga because the anime's been awesome, but the manga has been doing things better, or in a better light, or something like that. But I can't say with this one. Honestly, I'm disappointed because that was one of my favorite villains in Dragon Ball Super thus far, and what they did has just been detrimental to the character, his badassery, and everything we liked about him. Again, he was just a fucking punching bag for Vegeta. Like, he was even like, but where's Trunks? You know, where's my punching bag? Like, he just almost comes across as a complete coward, from fighting Vegeta, getting his ass kicked, talking about taking out the Kais so that he didn't have to fight the gods. He just looks like a flat out pussy. But then on top of that, the big trouble that I feel the entirety of the Dragon Ball manga, or at the very least, this arc right now is suffering from, which it's not Toyotaro's fault. If he was weekly, it'd be a lot better, but he's monthly. Ultimately, that he eventually has to get ahead of the anime, because Toyotaro said in an interview recently that he's going to be getting ahead of the anime, and you can assume that it's going to be, hey, this next arc, he's going to start it off just like what they did with Universe 6, how he started it off, whatever. He said he was going to get ahead of the anime. Right now, the end of chapter 19, we're still in the Goku Black arc. Zamasu just showed up. They didn't even know that there was another Zamasu in here. They just thought it was Black by himself. So he's like, yeah, we're going to start our Zero Humans extinction plan or whatever. So we're still at this particular point. So assuming that in order for us to kick off in February, or at the very least at the end of the next chapter, the next arc, Toyotaro got to wrap everything up, right? He has to get rid of everything. Now, granted, obviously, what they're doing in the anime of Dragon Ball Super, we're in like some slice of life stuff that's probably not going to be included in the manga. Goku versus Hit, everything in between it, it's not gonna matter in the manga. We're gonna skip all that. But still, essentially, if we're going to go into February and start off the new arc, or at the end of the next chapter start off the universe survival tournament or whatever, he has so much shit to wrap up. It's ridiculous. If we're gonna go with Super Saiyan Rose, that's one of the things immediately. Like the next chapter, Goku Black essentially gotta feel like, oh, maybe he gets a sensu bean. I don't know, Zama's got some sensu bean or some shit, and he heals up, and then he can activate the Rose, because again, it was hinting with what Vegeta was saying, and what even Black said a little bit, that he can go Super Saiyan Rose, he just doesn't know how to do it yet. So we gotta get the Super Saiyan Rose transformation. Like, hopefully the next chapter, again, they started off the beginning of the chapter, get it out the way to move it forward, but there's still so much shit that needs to be covered that honestly I don't feel, unless major things are skipped in the next chapter, I don't feel Toyotaro can wrap everything up in another chapter. I think it's going to take at least 2 more chapters just to wrap up the Goku Black stuff, and then we got to start the Universal Survival Tournament in the following chapter, because there's a lot of content. Again, let's go through some of the stuff. Like I mentioned, of course, Super Saiyan Rose. Then of course we have the merged Zamas, if they're going to do fusion. See, the biggest thing is, I'm assuming that in order for Toyotaro to get ahead and, like, you know, move past this arc and get to the Universe Survival in February, he's going to have to possibly skip all the fusion altogether. Like, I don't see any way around it if he needs to get ahead of the anime, because we got the merged Zamas, which that alone could have been like a good half of a chapter, or a good chunk of a chapter of them fusing the merged Zamas, and then of course that led to the merged Goku and Vegeta, the Vegito fusion, Super Saiyan Blue. Like, is he going to be able to compact all of that alone into a chapter? Goku Black going Super Saiyan Rose, then him bitching out and him and Zama's fusing, and then Vegito. Like, right there, that should be a chapter in and of itself. But then there's way more to cover. We have the Trunks moment at the end of the fight where he goes Genki Dama sword and all the transformation. Like, I think we're gonna completely skip Trunks having that big angry transformation with, you know, the Broly look that he had where his pupils disappeared and shit like that. Like, I think that's gotta be just immediately skipped. There's no way to cram all that. So we have Trunks' moments, especially again the big Genki Dama sword ending of defeating merged Zamas or whatever. Like, that needs to be squeezed in there on top of Vegito, merged Zamas, Super Saiyan Rose, Goku Black. So all of that. Then of course the Mafuba, which I honestly think it's okay if he skips it. I don't think that that'll be detrimental, because to be honest with you, the Mafuba, it felt like fan service in the anime, because in the end it amounted to nothing. I mean, Goku trained for it, Trunks learned it in 5 seconds, and they didn't do jack shit. It was basically worthless. So they can move on from the Mafuba. As cool as it was, it's unnecessary. But again, that's another element in the anime that he would have to skip over in order to, you know, wrap this up quickly. Then of course the introduction to the second Zeno, the destruction of that universe, and Goku pressing the button or whatever. Like, if Goku Black isn't much for even Vegeta, whatever, let's just say he goes Super Saiyan Rose, then he might give a little bit of a fight, but is that really going to be enough for Goku to say, yo, we gotta press this button, we need Zeno right now? Because we need the introduction to the second Zeno in order for the next arc to, you know, kind of coincide with the anime manga, because while they have their differences, ultimately I don't think they're going to cut out the second Zeno thing, seeing as how it's like a big deal in the anime. I don't think that they're going to just say, no, in the manga we're not going to have that moment as well. Then of course we have to resolve the second Trunks, second Mai thing that happened, because we got to figure out what's going to happen with Trunks in the end. Assuming that this universe is going to get destroyed and blown up like what happened in the anime, we need to resolve where Trunks and Mai is going to go after all this as well, unless he's going to skip out on that and they defeat Zamas and Black without the Earth being destroyed. So there's so many differences that need to happen if he's going to cram all this shit in or skip out on some of this shit just to get to the next arc. I will give credit to a couple different things. I will say Beerus killing Zamas in the manga was better than the anime. I mean, it just felt more impactful, because in the anime, don't get me wrong, I loved it. I thought that was an amazing moment, but it was just kind of like this digitized, like, holy shit. In the anime, it was just straight. It reminded me of like when Vegeta went Majin and he went and blew up the half of the arena at the World Martial Arts Tournament. That's kind of what Beerus did to Zamas in this chapter. It reminded me of that. So I'll say that at the very least, to the manga's credit, there were a couple things that the manga did better than the anime, but that doesn't excuse, again, Goku Black just coming across as corny. Like, he's just flat out corny in the manga. And honestly, with all that being said, I'm kind of curious what you guys think. What do you think Toyotaro can do in order to wrap all this up in another chapter? Personally, I don't think he can do it unless he skips out on Fusion. He has to skip out on Trunks' crazy Super Saiyan fucking legendary Super Saiyan looking transformation. He needs to skip out on the Mafuba. He needs to skip out on quite a few different things just to finish this all up. And at the same time, that ruins things because the pacing of the manga is going too damn fast. It just really is way too fast, to the point where it's like, how you gotta cram all this shit in just to get to the next arc. Like, it's kind of ruining the manga, which the manga has been awesome awesome and everything, but the pacing right now is just going too fast to the point where things are looking off. And Goku Black right now is not looking like the same character that I was screaming and going crazy for in the anime, and that really sucks. That really sucks. I really hope that once we get past this arc, they could find out a solution to having Toyotaro's manga not suffer because of the anime. I mean, they try their best. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to think we're getting like all of January is going to be anime exclusive, not to mention the past couple episodes, a hit and all this stuff. Like, they're giving breathing room, but with the super manga being monthly, I feel as though, and I fear this is going to be an ongoing problem for the manga, is that the manga always will never get ahead, and if it does get ahead, it's because it has to get rushed, and that's shitty, because the manga was doing some amazing things, but when you have to rush and shit like that, that's where it all goes downhill. And right now, that's what I'm feeling with the manga. I'm gonna have some hopes that Toyotaro can turn things around, maybe skip some things, make some dope changes. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the next chapter, Goku and Vegeta can just say, fuck it, okay, let's do the fusion, or maybe they even introduce Gogeta, do a fusion dance, get rid of him, bam, we'll go to the next arc or something like that. So we could totally have a completely different outcome, and that'll be good too. But again, your thoughts on this? How do you feel knowing that Goku Black essentially is not the same character that he was in the anime and the manga? He's not a badass in the manga, and that really sucks to say. And your overall thoughts of all this. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.